So we got Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, and vampires? Of course. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Guys, we have Sinners, one of my most anticipated films of 2025. Just look at the poster right there. That just looks so serious. This is being directed by Mr. Ryan Coogler. We all know who this brother is, but if you don't, that's what he looks like right here. This is his 5th film. He did Black Panther, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, Creed, and Fruitville Station. And I have enjoyed all of his movies, some more than others. And let's see where this one will rank. It's coming in at 2 hours and 17 minutes, and it is rated R. And when this film was first announced, it was shrouded in mystery. It was a secret. Everybody knew that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan was working on another film together. Was it Black Panther 3? Well, that's coming, but no one knew exactly what this was. It was a bidding war that made people get even more excited. We finally saw the trailer. Of course, I want to see this. And then the whole cast is black with Delroy, Lindo, and Wunmi Mosaku. And I'm also a fan of Hailee Steinfeld. Then this was shot with IMAX cameras and/or that ratio. There wasn't anything about this movie that just didn't get me excited. I wanted to still keep my expectations down. I didn't want them to go through the roof, but you're throwing in vampires as well. I mean, oh my gosh, like, let's do this. I'm ready. So before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film Sinners is all about. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. And guys, I gotta be honest with you, just reading that synopsis right there as I'm recording this review makes me like the film that much more and appreciate it. I've only seen this once at this point in time. I do want to see this movie again. I feel like I am confident that I will like it much more the second time than the first time around. That's not to say that I did not like this movie. I did. It's great. It's fantastic. And I can't wait for you to see it too. And also for you to come back and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But I did an out of theater reaction and I said to myself, I really did like this movie. I thought it was great, but I did not love it. Everyone else that I talked to said they loved the film. I've already recorded 2 spoiler reviews that's going to release later after this one. One with Malcolm, who I started my channel with, and one with E-Man, with E-Man's movie reviews. I may do one with Kim as well. But even talking to them, they all said that they loved this film. Also, Chris with 3C Films, he said he loved this movie too. And I don't know what was wrong with me the first time, but again, guys, I really did enjoy this film. And one of the main reasons why is the score, is the music, the composition was amazing. It was done by Ludwig Göransson. He has worked with Ryan Coogler before on both of the Black Panther movies, at least the second one. I can't remember the first one, but he's worked with Ryan Coogler before and other prominent directors in this film, and his signature was all over this movie. By far, the music aspect of this movie was the best. And when you have the visual IMAX, that clarity, that cinematographer is just the best of both worlds coming together for a pretty good damn theatrical experience, at least from a technical standpoint of view. And I will say I did like this movie more for its technical things that happen behind the camera per se, opposed to like what you're actually seeing on the film or experiencing, talking about the characters and the story. So to be clear, I'm not saying that the characters were weak, but I did like the technical aspects like the editing, the sound mixing, design, editing, all of that much more. And one of my favorite parts of the film was at the midpoint where we have the character by the name of Sammy, who is doing his musical number by the name of Miles Canton. I've never heard of this gentleman before, but he was my favorite character in the whole film. This is an image of him right here with Michael B. Jordan. But the best part of the movie for me, the highlight of the film, is when Sammy was singing, performing, "Somebody take me in your arms." We've all heard that from the trailer, and sorry I did butcher that, but that was the best point of me. That was when everything just transformed with all areas of the film, whether it's the imagery, the sound, the editing, the acting, the performance, just how the image is fading in and out. It was like we went through a portal through another dimension, and you're getting to look at the film that way, going from past to present with all different cultures around the world, backgrounds, walks of life, no matter what you look like, inside and out. I love that. It was a really emotional scene too. I haven't seen that much passion put into such a short amount of time in film or television in quite some time. They knocked that out of the park. And so great job there across the board. The editing in this film, the sound design, the music, the composition, it's just next level. I loved it. Some of the best I've ever seen and or heard in a film. And like I said, quite some time. Next thing that I really did enjoy about this film was the vampires. They stuck the landing with the vampires. At certain times when they're transforming, their eyes start to glow red, and it was very, very creepy and effective if you're trying to give people the EBGBs while they're watching this. I thought their level of violence was great, but not over the top. If you're squeamish, you don't have to worry. Yes, there is blood, but it's not to some childish, exaggerated amount. It fits within the rest of the story and just kind of, fades in like it's supposed to. But it actually feels realistic. This doesn't feel like some supernatural and or comic book movie to where you have to be a geek or a nerd to really understand it. I think your average audience member will appreciate this and be like, dang, did this really go down in 1932 or even now in present day behind the scenes that really no one knows about? It's possible, or at least it feels this way while I'm watching this. And so they knocked that out of the park as well. And it wouldn't be as good if you didn't have actors that were able to fulfill the roles. We know this from the trailer that Hailee Steinfeld is turned, and prior to her being a vampire and after, I thought she gave a great performance as well. I also didn't learn till recently that she's biracial, and so is her character in this film. And her real life identity helped her flesh out this character in this film. For her to flesh out the vampires like she did, it was very effective. There's a lot of racial undertones and tension in this movie as well of how things happened back in the past, and just kind of like how white women can be poison ivy or just that forbidden fruit that Black people need to stay away from. If you read between the lines, that is in this film as well. And I did appreciate the way that it was fed to me without it being just shoved down my throat. It's part of reality, is part of history. Some people will get it, some people it will just fly over your head. So I did like that aspect. And the actor that I'm talking about that played the main vampire is Jack O'Connell. I'm not too familiar with this gentleman right here, but again, I thought he was phenomenal in the role as the lead vampire. After seeing this, I do want to see him in other television shows or movies. If I see his name pop up, I'm, oh, that was a guy from Sinners. He did a great job. Hopefully he will do a great job here. Two other characters, or one other character, did a great job as well, as Michael B. Jordan playing twin brothers, Smoke and Stack, Stack and Smoke. Smoke was the blue, Stack was the red. I like their relationship. There were similarities between them, but you can also tell that they were very different, especially with the way they dealt with women or how much value they put into their relationships with the opposite sex. Really polar opposites, both passionate, but handled very, very differently. So I like that as well. And even when they came together, just the technology that they used to make it really look like there was two identical twins there, it was seamless for me. I was not able to tell like, oh, it's a split screen and they did it this way. Of course, they talked about that behind the scenes, how they had a body double. And for the most part, it did work and it didn't clock me out of the movie or jarring or anything like that. Delroy Lindo was cool too. He had some comedic moments in the film. He was more lighthearted and serious when he needed to be. And so was Wunmi Mosaku as Annie. Her role didn't just blow me away, but she did have some significance and showed up and showed out when it was necessary for her to do so. And, I did like that. If somebody knows some information that's valuable and will push us forward, hey, let's hear it. And when that time came, she did what she needed to do. And so I can always appreciate that. And I just go ahead and say, as I'm going through the characters, for the most part, I liked all the characters, whether it was on the good side or the bad side. No one in this movie just really pissed me off or just like, I can't stand you. Why did you do that right there? That was stupid. I mean, at the very least, everyone was competent. And I know that's not asking for much, but I was on board with pretty much everyone. I really do like the costumes and all the set designs that was done masterfully as well. It really did feel like We were in 1933 Mississippi, and I wasn't around that time, and I've never been to Mississippi, but it actually felt real to me. I didn't really feel like I was on a movie set or anything like this. It actually felt like I teleported back in time. You know, it felt authentic, it felt real, and of course, that's always appreciated too. There was a decent amount of action, and I did like that. There is going to be one point towards the end of the movie where everyone is just going to cheer out loud, like, yes, this is something I wanted to see. Really doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the film, but I'm glad they threw it in there. Yes, 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 I'm loving this right here. But the action was cool. It was choreographed pretty well. There was some actors that were able to throw down that I did not think had it in them. And you can tell that they really prepared for this and did the training. I'm also just kind of speaking about Delroy Lindo, and he did talk about that in his press runs as well. I was impressed by him too. But guys, those are going to be some things that I really did like about the film. Now let me transition to some things that really did not work for me. One being the movie is 2 hours and 17 minutes. Now, I don't mind a long movie as long as the pacing is flowing. And I really didn't feel like it was flowing as good as it could have been the first act of this movie. I don't want to say that I was bored, but there was nothing just stand out or memorable to me on a positive note. As we're getting to know the characters and I like them, I just kind of felt like the story could have been much stronger. All this is about is Smoke and Stack that come back down to the South and they want to throw a party. But I feel like there should have been more to it. And I was just like, okay, is this the only reason why we're here? Yes, they did explain where they came from before this, but I just really wasn't that excited about their mission. You know, I really don't know. The first act of the movie was just kind of dragging to me and the pacing just wasn't the best. Also, as we're getting to know Delroy Lindo's character, I liked him, but there was a certain scene where he was monologuing in the car and I really couldn't understand the word that he was saying. I don't know if his accent was too thick or that was just a bad job in the sound department, but I was just like, what did he say? And I'm actually leaning forward, trying to pay attention. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know what he's talking about. You know, I don't want to spoil anything right here. I did hear a few things, but it was a frustrating scene for me. And, you know, I didn't really care for that. But our main character, Smoke and Stack, played by Michael B. Jordan, they are trying to put a juke joint together. You see that in the trailers. And they're going around at the very beginning of this movie trying to recruit people like it's the Avengers, and it's just too slow paced for me. And, you know, I just really didn't care for it. When we got to the actual party, that's where things picked up. When the vampire showed up, that's where everything went down, and I was enjoying it here on and there. I was enjoying it from then on out. I like the rules that they set up as far as what the vampires can and cannot do. They were consistent with that. I thought the kills were brutal. I thought they was effective. I understood what was going on and I wanted to see more and more and more. Something that I did not like is there was an action scene that I thought was too brief. I love the way it started, but I wanted them to draw that out just a little bit more and they didn't. And then we have a few characters that are sacrificial lambs. So I'm just like, why did you do this? That was so unnecessary. If you're gonna go out like a G, not like a wimp. Now, this was not a lot of characters. This was just a handful, but at the same time, it was just unnecessary. If everybody can go out guns blazing in glory, why not do it? Let's have a good time at the movie theater where we're like cheering and rah-rahing for everybody, not like, okay, I liked you the whole movie, but why did you do this right here at this one point? I'm kind of annoyed. And while I did love the vampires, they could have went a bit deeper in their lore and trying to explain what they're trying to accomplish in their end goal. They kind of skimmed over that. And you may be able to fill in the blanks yourself, but I thought that we should have got more exposition to flesh all of that out. But that's just me. Something else I really didn't care for in the movie is there is a mid-credit scene that is super uber confusing to me. I don't know why it was included. It flew over my head. I don't understand. I talked to Malcolm. He really wasn't able to give me an answer as well. Please make sure you go check out that review. But the film should have ended at the end before the credits hit, but they gave us a few more scenes in the middle of the credits and then a mid-credit scene or post-credit scene, and I just kind of brought the film down to me. I did not hate this movie. I thought it was great, but I just didn't love it, and it wasn't a knockout the park for me. But everybody else that I have talked to so far love the movie. I don't want to go check out the spoiler reviews so you can hear their rating, but I've talked to at least 4 or 5 people and they like it much better than I do. Okay. But you know, hey guys, that's just my opinion. If you want more details, again, go check out all the spoiler reviews that I have on my channel as well. I will give my rating for this, but at the very end of the video. But for now, again, that's just my opinion. I do appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel so you can see all of the content that I have cooking in the kitchen for you. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun stuff. So guys, if I had to rate Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, out of a 1 out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Yes, a 7 out of 10. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace. And I'll see you next time.